So one day you're at home, you're changing your clothes after work, and you take your t-shirt off and you catch yourself in the mirror. And you see a physique that is neither muscular nor really fat, but they're kind of skinny. And you have a little belly and your arms are kind of skinny. And you kind of think, well, what the fuck? I'm kind of floating in the middle here, I have to fix this. And you ask yourself, what do I do? I clearly have very little muscle mass and I clearly have some body fat to lose. This is what we call skinny fat. Now I'm going to explain to you exactly what it is and how you're going to be able to fix it in this short video. Okay, someone who is skinny fat is kind of in the name. You're someone that needs to lose body fat and you haven't a whole lot of muscle mass to show off if you did drop your body fat. And you may have skinny arms and a bit of a belly, and you know, it's a bit of a tricky situation to be in, but there's a silver lining, and I'm going to explain to you why. Because someone who is skinny fat is probably most likely someone that's not been in the gym very long or isn't in the gym at all. So if you are in the gym a couple of months now and you're not really seeing any changes, I would encourage you to just keep going, because you will see those changes eventually. If you're someone that's just starting off and you're realizing that, fuck, I'm listening to these influencers online and they're calling me skinny fat, then this is what I would do if I was you. Firstly, we want to start with, what do you do with your nutrition? So you're in a kind of a unique situation where you can drop body fat and build muscle at the same time because you're a beginner. And for someone who is skinny fat, they have body fat to lose. So I would advise losing that body fat first. Get into a calorie deficit. Now most people will say, well, I'm in a calorie deficit, I'm not going to actually build muscle during that time, which isn't true. You're just not going to build muscle effectively in comparison to being at maintenance calories or in a surplus. But there is a difference there. You can still build muscle while you're in a calorie deficit, even much so if you are a beginner. So most people who are skinny fat are beginners. So that means that you will get away with starting your training career or your training lifestyle off in a calorie deficit, because you will build muscle from the new stimulus of the training that you're going to be doing, and you will drop body fat at the same time. Now coaches will say, don't bother with the calorie deficit, just get into the gym and train and let the body recomposition just do its work. But I would say make the best of both worlds, because you will body recomp while you're in a calorie deficit and build muscle at the same time, and you'll get to your desired look sooner because you're going to get rid of that body fat quicker, and then you can stop that deficit and then get into a maintenance phase or a reverse diet and into a gaining phase and get to a physique that you're actually happy with quicker. So that's step number one, and we'll get into that stuff later. Get your calories right first. Figure it out online, or this is a really easy, quick one for you. Get your body weight. If you're a fella, multiply by 24, and then if you're a lady, multiply by 22, and make sure your body weight is in kilos. Then pick from this list. So 1.2 is a sedentary individual, someone who kind of sits on their ass all day, has a desk job, doesn't get a lot of steps. Multiply your weight by that if you define this person. Then 1.3 for someone that's lightly active, someone that's getting maybe 5,000 to 8,000 steps. They may have a job where they're standing up most of the time. Then we have 1.4. So that's someone who's getting maybe 10,000 steps and they're on their feet all day. I would multiply your body weight if you fit that category. That's a very rough way of doing it, and that's not how I do it with my own clients. I do it a little bit more in depth, but that will work for you right now. Okay, now that we know how much calories you need to eat, we're going to need to work out how much macros we need and what different type of macros that we need to focus on. So clearly, if we want to build more muscle mass, we need to be eating enough protein. So for you, 1.6 grams to 2.2 grams per kg of body weight is fine. If you're American, 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. And that's basically it. That's how much protein you need. You can err on the lower side if you're on quite a small amount of calories, err on the higher side if you're on a bigger amount of calories. And then I would focus on making sure to have as much carbohydrates as possible throughout the day. And how you do this is that you minimize how much fat you give yourself based on your calories. So multiply the calorie number that you got from the calculations that you worked out, multiply that by 20% and then divide it by 9. That's going to give you a smaller number, and that number is how many grams per fat that you need to just, basic health, cover basic health, and make sure everything's in working order. Whatever that number is in grams and the protein is in grams, whatever is left over in your total amount of calories, you can just add them up and subtract it, and it will give you how much carbohydrates are left. And that's how much carbohydrates you have for energy for training. And that's going to boost your training performance. You can lift more weight, get stronger, and build more muscle. Okay, so that's step number 2. Let's talk about training. So in order to build more muscle, you need to lift weights, and you need to be progressively overload your training. So progressive overload is increasing the amount of reps or the amount of load or the stimulus, the overall stimulus of your training sessions over time. Now, if you are someone that's skinny fat and you're a beginner, you can just get into the gym and just start lifting weights. Just make sure you're following something that's progressive and something that is going to challenge you. And focus on getting your technique right. And this is the important thing, because someone with better technique will be able to challenge the muscles that they want to grow more effectively. That being said, if you're looking to improve your technique, I will review your technique for free. Just click the link below and you sign up for it and send me on a video of your choice, and I'll break down your technique for you and send you a video back, and you can use it in your next training session. So with our training, we need to make sure that it's challenging enough. So one, we're making sure that our execution is good and that we're progressively overloading. So we're adding more weight to the barbell and we're also adding more reps over time. Following a 3 to 4 day training split, I prefer 4, so upper, lower, upper, lower. So that will allow you to challenge every muscle group more than once, and you'll have enough recovery throughout the week so that you're growing. And the recovery is just as important as the training. So making sure that you're getting enough sleep, hydration, and you're taking some rest days in between. But since you're a beginner and you're eager to build some muscle, I would just focus on getting in, doing good solid training, you're making sure your technique is correct, and you're looking after your nutrition. And from here, you'll slowly see that your physique will change, you will drop body fat at the same time, and when you have that done, you can then get into a reverse diet, a maintenance period, and then a gain phase. Just like how I do with all my own clients, and I even do it myself. But first, start with losing body fat, as I said. So, hopefully that helps for you if you are someone that needs to lose some body fat, or you feel like you're skinny fat. Follow this process. Don't be afraid to ask me some questions in the comments, and also subscribe.